Last Sunday afternoon, I was watching India and Australia test match, which had gotten over yet again in just 3 days. So I thought of hanging around a bit longer on Disney Plus Hotstar to see what else do they have. So I came upon this show, The Night Manager, whose ad I kept seeing every time an over gets over during the India-Australia test match. I saw the 4 episodes of the series, which is the adaptation of the British show, The Night Manager, and the novel by the same name. I saw each episode of the series back to back. After watching the series, I realized few things. That if you pick a cast full of beautiful people, make them look even more good, and pick even better locations to shoot, or pick a good green screen background, then you have given good aesthetic experience to your audience. But then I asked myself, is this what I expected of a show about espionage? Shouldn't it be exciting, filled with intrigue, multiple plot points, conspiracies coming to light as the protagonist tries to expose the billionaire arms dealer? I should have felt excited, intrigued, surprised, and even nervous at times, but instead I felt comfortable. After watching each episode, a feeling came over me which is familiar to one whenever I scroll the Instagram of the celebrities, and then I realized that the series wanted to have the same effect on us as when we watch the reels of some of these celebrities. The series shows opulence, and in fact it revels on it. Unlike Succession and White Lotus, this series is not even a critique of it. Even though the antagonist Shelley, played by Anil Kapoor, is an arms dealer, but we are shown very little about the world of arms dealing. The conversations in the show were like, हम ये कर ही क्यों रहे हैं, आप बस beautiful images दिखाओ, exquisite cuisine दिखाओ, cigar दिखाओ, अमीरों की पार्टियां दिखाओ. Not that it was not important to establish the world of Shelley, but I felt the plot moving ever slowly, that I felt like that the makers were more interested in showing us the lifestyle of Shelley, where he lives, his richness, his opulence, rather than showing us the world of arms dealing. In the first episode of the series, we are shown that there is tension brewing in Bangladesh because Rohingya Muslims were expelled from Myanmar, and Shelley was selling arms to some businessmen in Bangladesh who had married a teenage girl, and he was in the hotel where Shan, played by Aditya Roy Kapoor, was the hotel manager who tried to save that girl from him but couldn't, and thus he wanted to avenge Shelley by going on this espionage mission. All good till then, but then suddenly there is nothing more about the world of Shelley. Instead, the camera focuses more on the lives of the character who live together with Shelley in the same house. When Shan enters into the house of Shelley, some get jealous and suspicious of him. And then there is also cheating going on, and it felt like ये espionage से सास बहू ओपेरा कैसे बनता जा रहा है. Even the performances weren't that great from the actors, barring couple of them. Anil Kapoor as Shelley looked more like Mehra from Dil Dhadakne Do. The same role played by Hugh Laurie in the British version of the series looked cold and calculative, like any crass capitalist would. But Anil Kapoor looked more of a person who is more invested in what is going on in his family than what is going on in his business. To be honest, I felt it required him to look cold, purely focused on making profit, but he didn't look like the part. Siddharth Roy Kapoor as Shan looked like a traumatized ex-soldier who is trying to get rid of his past life. But in the process, he keeps seeing people getting harmed around him, about which he can do nothing about. He played his part really well, although sometimes I think why he doesn't have moral conflict in him, that just like he has lost that 14-year-old girl in Bangladesh, isn't he risking the life of that 10-year-old boy he has befriended to expose Shelley? The character should have had more moral dilemma than it was shown in his character. Shobita Dhulapia has mastered the art of playing the character of a trophy wife. First in Made in Heaven and now in The Night Manager. She is playing almost the same character of someone who's hiding her real identity behind that veil of beauty and class. For the most part, she looks glamorous and in part mysterious, but what is more to her character we are yet to see. Tilotma Shume's character was the only character which seemed more fleshed out than the rest of the cast. Her character equaled the intensity of the character played by Olivia Colman in the British version of the series. Saswata Chatterjee is another character who infuses life in this pretty much travel and living show. It is not like there was everything bad about this series. There were few good aspects too, like good looking actors, and the locals do make for a nice experience, even if not always a good story. Also, the cinematography is really good, but mostly it feels shallow. A picture or an image in cinema or television does not exist so that it only gives the aesthetic pleasure. The purpose of image is also to say something. When filmmakers use green screen just so that it looks more pleasing to the eye, it makes that scene look more plastic. There are instances in which when Shelley is in Shimla, he's shown standing right in front of the snow-clad mountains, but it seemed obvious that CGI has been used in the scene. Also, there are scenes whose purpose was nothing except to dazzle the audience with the image, which I say again looked good but didn't do much in the service of the plot. My another gripe is that the part 2 of the series will be released 4 months later. I mean, why make us wait for another 4 months? If that was a strategy to begin with, then why give us 4 episodes to begin with? It did absolutely nothing to move the plot further. I don't know the reason for this, but I hope this strategy works out for them. Overall, you should watch this series only if you're not expecting something like James Bond. To me, it seemed like even if I hadn't watched this show, I wouldn't have missed anything special. Don't misunderstand me, but this series is pretty watchable, but it is most likely to be forgotten in few months' time, which is going to be the fate of most mediocre content on these OTT platforms. Barring few series, there is nothing really one can remember as being so good that one can watch again and again. Anyway, that's all for today now. Thanks for watching, guys, and do not forget to subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye bye.